Last week we started talking about singing the Bible, and we concluded that among other ways, two ways that we can sing the Bible as Christians is through congregational music, which we use to talk to God, to talk to one another, and to also speak to ourselves. We also say that we can participate in Christian music, where we make music not just for the consumption of the church, but to address the issues from a biblical point of view. And today we want to dig deeper and think about especially congregational music, that when we gather as a church, what should dominate the structure of our singing, what should dominate the structure of our singing. And I think the Psalms give us a very good direction for that. For example, if you would look in Psalm 136, it contains 26 verses, almost a half of which are explanations for why the psalm is written. And so, for example, in verse 1, David says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever." And then he goes on from verse 4 downwards to explain the goodness of God. And one phenomena that characterizes especially congregational singing is a repetition of words that does not end up edifying. It is as if David would say for the whole psalm, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good." But he does not. He gives us reasons why we should give thanks to God. And so when we think about congregational music, we should think of writing songs that don't just tell of what we should do in response to God, but are songs that tell us of the very tangible ways in which we have experienced these attributes of God that we ask our people to sing. And so when we challenge you to sing the Bible as a congregation, we ask you to say words that are true about God and His attributes, His goodness, His power, His sovereignty. But it is also good, and it helps us as believers if we can tell and write music that tells of the specific ways in which we have experienced this. So for example, David would say things like, "Him who made the heavens, he who spread out the earth, he who made the great lights, he who struck down the Egyptians, he who brought Israelites from Egypt." And so as the Israelite is singing about God, as he is reciting the psalm, he can remember the things that God has done. And so as believers, when we gather together and sing, let us say and declare the attributes of God, and then teach our people and put in our music the very ways in which we have experienced in our own lives and in the lives of the people, these attributes of God being seen in our lives. And the same goes for Christian music. As we sing all these things, as we address marriage and poverty and relationships and drugs and medicine and science, what we do is we come from a biblical point of view. What does the Bible have us think and have us do with science and with marriage and with music and with politics? So as believers, we continue in our journey, singing the Bible, singing to the Lord, talking words that are true of Him, talking words that the Bible declares about Him and about things, and then we tell our people and help our people see the very ways in which we see these things play out in everyday life. Grace and peace to you.